like before when I kiss your lips. You're trying hard not to show it, baby. But baby, I know it. It's time for the live stream. Whoa, the live stream show. Let's start the live stream show. Hoka hey, BOOZHOO. Hoka hey, BOOZHOO. BOOZHOO. And welcome back to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. What's wrong with our sign? To BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. You tell him, sweetie. I sure will. Maybe you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to have to say it to you anyway. Welcome to the show. All right? Yeah, no one else has the guts to tell you to your face, but I'll tell it right to your face. Welcome to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO over here, the lovely and the talented. Oh, would you cut it out? The lovely and talented Natasha. Ikadon BOOZHOO Winnie Mushane. Why don't you say hello? BOOZHOO, everybody. BOOZHOO to the BOOZHOO crew. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Sheila BOOZHOO. And BOOZHOO Jessica. BOOZHOO Jessica. Brian Souls is here. BOOZHOO Niji. BOOZHOO Brian. And I guess that's it. I'm not going to say anything until there's a big crowd here. You can't do that. What? I'm going to start trying to be entertaining just as soon as people start watching. And not a moment before. Do you think that's going to work out? Probably not. Hoka hey. So, what's going on, sweetie? What do you mean? What should we talk about today? Well, we could talk about Ojibwe language and culture. Yeah, but we always do that. We could talk about the legend of Windigo Lake and Star Island. Yeah, I've been meaning to talk about that, Windigo. You know, a lot of people get a Windigo and Sabe confused. Lots of times when they say, oh, Windigo, isn't that Bigfoot? No, no, please. You know, I think we can debate what Bigfoot is. And there are many sightings of Bigfoot. That is not to be confused with Windigo. Should I just start off right off the bat talking about Windigo? I don't know. It's kind of a dark topic. Yeah, it is, huh? Hello, children. Brian is saying, my 9-year-old son Bentley is also here. Okay, hey, BOOZHOO, Bentley. He came to work with Daddy today. Right on. Okay, Bentley, BOOZHOO, welcome to the show. This show is actually for you. There's a bunch of adults who like to tune in and listen to me and Natasha talk. I don't know if you've seen the show before, but we like to talk about Ojibwe language and culture. Like this word right here. BOOZHOO. That means hello. And it's also a good pair of glasses. You can just look through the O's. And then NANABOOZHOO is me. I'm NANABOOZHOO. So like today, you might have learned the word BOOZHOO. It means hello. So hello, BOOZHOO. But today, Bentley, I'm going to talk about kind of a scary story. Lots of times people don't want to tell scary stories. They think, oh no, you'll scare the children. You must never scare the children. But you might as well know this story. This is the story of Wendigo and the legend of Star Island. Let me see. Wendigo. Wendigo in Ojibwe moment means it's a creature. It's a winter cannibal, like monster spirit. And we can talk a little bit about the difference between a monster and a spirit. As Anishinaabe people, we don't talk about Bigfoot being a monster. Sometimes people will call him a spirit because he's got sort of spiritual powers, like he can disappear. But Sabbe is a creature that some people think doesn't exist. And same thing with Wendigo. Some people think Wendigo doesn't exist either. But a lot of people think they both exist. So like Bigfoot, people have seen him out in the woods. And he's supposed to be a great big tall man, basically. He's a big hairy guy. Kind of looks like Chewbacca. Wild man. But he's some people say he's a shapeshifter. Some people say, oh yeah, he can change into other animals. That's why you never see him for very long. But he represents honesty in the 7 grandfather teachings. Sabbe is what we call Bigfoot. The stories about Sabbe are never, oh, Sabbe came and killed my family. We never thought of Sabbe as a bad guy. But today I would like to tell the story of Wendigo and Star Island. So where I'm from, about 20 miles from here, there's a lake called Cass Lake, is what the white people called it. Back in the days of the grandfathers, they called it Gazagaskwa Jamaikog. No, they didn't. What did they call it? They call it the Lake of the Red Cedars. Misquah Gamiwi. Misquah Gamiwi. It was the Lake of the Red Cedars. And it was a very special lake. Where the lake was situated, Cass Lake, there were a lot of rivers that would go into the lake. And so a lot of different Indian people would travel these rivers. And sometimes they'd end up in Cass Lake. And eventually, it would connect with like Mississippi. And it could connect with Leech Lake and, all these lakes. So it became kind of a hot spot. Kind of a place where a lot of people would stop on a journey. But one thing that really made the Lake of the Red Cedars so special is that it had an island in its own lake. So, and then that lake and that island, it was shaped like a star. They called it the Anang, what do you say island? Mississippi, Magizi, doggone it. It was Star Island, they called it. Anang Island. And so, but on this island, there was a lake within the island. So it was a lake within a island within a lake. And they called that lake Wendigo Gamiwi. They called it the Wendigo Lake. Because as the story goes, there's 2 accounts of Wendigo. Some people think Wendigo is just a monster that got the taste for human blood. Back in the days of the grandfathers, there was a regular man who lived in the North Woods with his family, far away from any other Anishinaabe. And they lived in a little wigwam on this island in the middle of the lake of the red cedars. But this particular winter, it was really cold, but the ice didn't quite freeze for some reason. So they were cut off from the rest of the people and had to live on this island by themselves in the cold winter. But they couldn't canoe across the lake. There was too much ice, but they couldn't walk. It was just a sludgy way. And they were stranded out here. And they ran out of manuman. They ran out of food. They ran out of wild rice. And they ran out of deer meat. And they ran out of everything. And so this dad, this man, who later came to be known as Wendigo, he did the worst thing you can do. He ate up his family. And, everybody was starving, and he said to himself, you know what? There's no sense in all of us starving, so I'm just going to eat my kids and my wife. And when people come out to get us, I'll tell them that a monster came and ate my family. No, I'll tell them that they starved to death. And I was just lucky I didn't starve myself. So the spring came, and the other people, they came out, and they're like, hey, man, what happened? He goes, oh, it's horrible. We were stuck out here all winter. And let's see. My wife and kids, they starved to death. So I buried them. And the Anishinaabes are looking around going, what? Then how come there's all these bones here? How come you got bones around your campfire? Right by the barbecue sauce. And then the guy goes, oh, yeah, that's right. No, they didn't starve to death. What happened? A monster came. A monster called Wendigo came and killed my family. And I had to fight him off. Because we were, whatever. And they didn't believe him. They're like, what are you talking about? You look well fed. And your story doesn't add up. And he goes, no, it's true. And in fact, and by this time, the man, he started to change. Something, by eating the flesh of his own family, he took in a spirit, a bad spirit. Or he became a bad spirit or something. But where he once was a human being, he started to grow and morph into some sort of terrible thing. And I know I pulled up a picture. Here we go. Eesh. Don't get scared. But this man, he turned into some sort of half man, half deer elk thing. He had like one antler. He lost it. And he was like, now I have to feed on only human flesh. I realized something he goes, you're right. It wasn't anybody else. It was me. Yes, a monster killed my family. But that monster, it was me. It was Wendigo. And now that you know my secret, you can never leave this island. And he ate those guys too. And then he disappeared. This is the story of Wendigo. A scary kind of cannibal monster that lives on Star Island. They say. He's not Bigfoot. Bigfoot's cool. Wendigo is like you ever see those videos where there's like people on bath salts? He's like that. He's a wild, possessed, flesh, meat, human eating. He was a human, and he's still a human, but he looks like a demon. And his name is Wendigo. So this is the story of Wendigo, the winter cannibal monster. Oh, and the reason they call him a spirit, OJIBWE or Manadu. He's kind of a manji Manadu. So in our way, we kind of say, naturally, what can be learned from the lesson of Wendigo? Don't eat your family, right? But you probably already knew that. But it's also about greed and gluttony. You see, when Wendigo was a human being and he decided to eat his family, he did a very selfish thing. He had to feed himself, but then by doing that, when he allowed himself to do this most horrible thing, Bentley, he turned into this. So you must never allow yourself to become a monster. Is the moral of the story. Don't be a monster like Cookie Monster. Huh, sweetie? That's right. Is that what happened to Cookie Monster? I don't know. Something definitely happened to Cookie Monster, but Cookie Monster has got kind of a problem with his appetites too, huh? Maybe Cookie Monster is a Wendigo. Yeah, Wendigo, a winter cannibal. And this is our Ojibwe word of the day. So there you go, Bentley. If you have any questions, just talk to your dad. Let's see, Brian says, thanks, BOOZHOO. He listens to the show often. Oh, that's awesome, Ben. Armored Skeptic did an interesting video about what the Wendigo might have actually been. Armored Skeptic. All right, we'll have to check out Armored Skeptic this morning. Wendigo. Every once in a while there's rare stories, and not just with Indian people. There's a story about a group of white people who turned cannibal when their plane crashed in the mountains somewhere. And everyone's like, oh, how could they do that? It's like, oh, I don't know, man. Christine, BOOZHOO, Christine, Mino Gigajabe. It's nice to see you here. Welcome to the show. Weesanie is here. Good morning, Weesanie. Weesanie's here, sweetie. BOOZHOO, Weesanie. We're just talking about eating human flesh. So, then you got to think to yourself, I'm going to let this guy go. We might have to call Wendigo someday, but not today. And I don't mean to scare you, Bentley, but these stories, they're all true. Yeah. I heard there was a Wendigo living in your backyard. Your dad's not going to want to tell you that because he's like, oh no, don't scare him. But dude, I'm your friend. You got one of these living in your closet. Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't say that to Bentley. What are you trying to scare him? I don't know why I'm picking on Bentley. Anyway. Wendigo. I don't know why I'm looking back here for him. Okay. What else we got for a word today? Oh, yeah. Here's something you can say. Here's a good word. Bentley, especially if you have an Indian grandma, next time you see her, and you want to get, let's face it, grandma's always the most generous when it comes to your birthday card, Who's good for a $20 bill once in a while? Grandma. So, next time she gives you a 20, say, hey, Grandma, Giza Ga'in. Love you, Grandma. Giza Ga'in. Because in the Anishinaabe way, we say, Zageh Iriwen, love. Huh, sweetie? That's right. Zageh Iriwen is love. You were talking about love yesterday. I thought we should use those words today. That's a good idea. Because, you crazy cats, Today is a gibberish cartoon. Giza Ga'in. We got a little girl here, and she found her teddy bear, and she picks up her teddy bear, and she says, Giza Ga'in. Hoa, I love you. Bentley, you ever lose your teddy bear? And you think, my poor teddy bear, somebody came in, somebody broke in and stole my teddy bear. Oh no. And then you find him, you go, oh, that's right, I just forgot him in the bathroom. Or whatever. And then you go, oh, I love you, my teddy bear. Giza Ga'in. Giza Ga'in, sweetie. Giza Ga'in, NANABOOZHOO. That's Natasha. She's pretty into me. Giza Ga'in. And this comes from the story Little Cutie, A Teddy Bear's Vision Quest by Michael Lyons. It's another one of those books that Michael illustrated, huh? Yep. Story about a teddy bear that goes on a vision quest. One of these days I'll retell that story during story hour. When we run out of stories about Wendigo. Actually, it's pretty appropriate. One of these days we should do campfire stories. We'll do a live stream at like midnight, and we'll just sit around a campfire, and I'll tell some ghost stories. That'd be cool, huh? Yeah. And like the Ojibwe word of the day could be marshmallow, and we could roast marshmallows. Yeah. I got a million good ideas. You do, honey. So yeah. Oh, hey. La la la. Living under a rock. BOOZHOO. You know what? I think it was Living Under a Rock who asked us to talk about Wendigo in the first place. Was it? I'm 90% sure. I got a really bad memory for names, so I hope I'm remembering right. Christine says, laugh out loud, good story for the morning. Yeah, let's start our morning. It's Friday, so let's start it off with a good terrifying story. Oh, so here's where I was going with that. So, for some of you new people, lots of times we start off talking about Ojibwe language and culture, And then I usually get sidetracked with, stories of conspiracy theories or whatever, I'm just a little short here. And I get sidetracked by my own size. What if I made myself a little bigger? That looks better. So, hey. So sometimes we get sidetracked with conspiracy theories and that. And why did I start talking about this? You were going to go somewhere with it. That's right. I'm bad with names. Telling stories. Oh, so here's where I was going with it. So one of the conspiracies that I stumbled across was this idea of the Wuhan flu, or whatever you want to call it. That when this whole weird thing started with the coronavirus, there were whispers out there that it had something to do with adrenochrome. And adrenochrome is sort of this idea. It's a kind of where the idea for vampires. It's not where the idea for vampires come from, but it's close to that. But apparently there's a drug called adrenochrome that Hollywood stars take, and it's actual human blood. And part of the Wendigo folklore is that some people believe if you eat human flesh, that you get superpowers. You can become like super fast or whatever. And you turn into like these zombies. That's kind of where this flesh-eating zombie comes from. Brains, whatever. There's some zombies that are really fast. Well, in Wendigo tradition, they're like, oh, maybe there's something to it. So then when the lockdown first happened, a little over a year ago now, a lot of these Hollywood stars like Johnny Depp, what's her name? Ellen DeGeneres, whoever, it looked like they just aged about 10 years overnight. And like Johnny Depp would come and goes, no, I'm studying for a role. I'm supposed to look like a vampire who ran out of blood. Here's my new role, you know. And like a lot of these Hollywood stars, and they go, you know what's happened is that they're trying to track down this underground illegal. It's not legal to drink human blood, and there's all kinds of horrific stuff that happens to get so-called adrenaline-filled blood that I didn't want to get into. Because you're this little kid. I don't think kids need to hear about this, do they? No. All right. So, I'm going to get off the subject. Hey, sweetie. Yeah? You got a phone call. Okay, good. Why was I talking about undead, blood-sucking... Ugh. Caller, thank you for changing the subject. You're on the air. Oh, brother. Hello, it is I, the Count. Hello, Count. You're probably the last guy I need to talk to. Why are you dogging people who drink blood? It's not so bad. It tastes delicious. Look, man, it's sick. You shouldn't drink blood. Come on, why do you think I look so young? 'Cause you're made of felt? That is a good one. And look who's calling the kettle black. Yeah. So you think drinking blood's okay? Is it okay? It is delicious. I love to drink blood. 1, 2, 3 victims of my vampire need quest to quench my eternal thirst. Yeah. Because that's what happens, huh? You guys become addicted to human blood or something, right? Yes, that is exactly right. In fact, let me say right now, children, do not be like me, the Count. Say no to the blood of the living. Do you really think that needed to be said? You know, I've been wondering why no one's asked me to do a public service announcement. Because you see, NanaBOOZHOO, yeah, I am quite the tragic figure if you think about it. What do you mean? I am cursed to walk the earth for lifetimes. I have been alive for so long, and yet I feel like as though I am dead. I must feed on the living because I am the walking dead myself. Yeah, you are kind of a weirdo, aren't you? Yes, it is true. So, yeah, I kind of didn't want to talk about monsters and blood anymore. So, what can I do for you? I need to get out of this phone call real quick. Oh, I was wondering if I could teach the Ojibwe word of the day. Well, we already have one. We got 2, in fact. What were they? Well, there's Gizagain. Gizagain. I love you. Gizagain. I love you. You know what? That's what I'm going to say the next time I'm drinking a tall glass of blood. Ugh. Okay. And then there's Zaga Idiwin. It means, just love. Zaga Idiwin. Love, like drinking blood, is Zaga Idiwin. Okay, yeah, it's like drinking blood. Oh, I've learned so much watching your show. Gizagain, NanaBOOZHOO. I love you. Okay. All right, I'm going to go, okay? Okay. Gigawaba min, minawa. Okay. Gigawaba min, minawa. Wait, that's not what I wanted. What's the matter? I'm trying to find your picture. Oh, I'm under the count. Ah, yeah, here you are. Ah. Why am I talking about... Well, I'm not. What do you mean? About blood. Let's get on to something else. Boozhoo! How are you? NANABOOZHOO crew? Welcome to the podcast about Ojibwe language and Ojibwe culture. Occasionally, Ojibwe stories. About lighthearted, funny news of the day. News from Indian country. How about that, honey? Today is Friday. It is NANABOOZHOO. And today on News from Indian Country. Sweetie, what is the news from Indian country? Let me think. News from Indian country. What is Indian country? Pretty much anything we want to call it. Anything that has to do with Indian people in the slightest. Indian country, I mean, they all, it's all Indian land. Oh, really? Okay. So this is the news from all land. What's a good news story we should talk about? What's new in the news? Joe Biden hasn't died yet. Nope, Joe Biden's still alive as far as we know. There you go. And this has been News from Indian Country. Your president is still alive. Let's see. Jessica says, that would be so fun. We'll be like the Midnight Society. Yeah, we'll do a late night creepy stories about ghosts, ghost stories, maybe some alien abduction stories. Yeah, it'll be fun. Lisa says, 28 days later, zombies were fast. Yeah, some of those movies, the zombies are super fast. You know, a lot of them, they would just like walk around like Frankenstein. You know, because people get confused. Frankenstein wasn't really a zombie. He wasn't even undead. He was created in kind of an ungodly way. And he was a mismatch of brain of one person, a body of another person. And I don't even know if Frankenstein was necessarily evil, even though he killed a lot of people. But he wouldn't eat the people. He wasn't that kind of zombie. And he was really just killing out of revenge. You know, sometimes I wonder, maybe Frankenstein was the original story of, the original horror story. Because it's really the story of the horror that Dr. Frankenstein went through after he created life. Yeah, when you think about it, it's really pretty deep. Man becomes God. He creates life. And that life becomes this Frankenstein monster. And then he, in turn, turns around and kills your whole family. And then you got to hunt him down and kill your own creation. That's a cool story. But he wasn't a zombie, you know. And so he was a slow walker because he was, he wasn't, his creator wasn't quite as good as our creator. You know, we're all smooth and stuff. Frankenstein was like, kill, whatever. But zombies, they got the taste for blood. They want to eat human flesh. They're like the Wendigo. And you can become a Wendigo. You can't become a Frankenstein. If Frankenstein bites you, nothing happens. Nothing? Well, I mean, you get a hickey. You could get a hickey from Frankenstein? Oh, yeah. Just ask the bride of Frankenstein. She was covered in hickeys. But, so yeah, big difference. So Wendigo and zombies are kind of alike, but Frankenstein is different. Frankenstein is a cautionary tale. And, Michael also wrote a Frankenstein story. I know. What was it called? What'd you call that weird little comic book? It was the Journal of Victor Frankenstein. Yeah, we could share that on the show sometime. Yeah, we could. All right, you guys. Here's a kind of a special Friday thing. I wasn't sure if to do this or not, but we got some time to kill here. You know what? One thing I've kind of liked, sweetie? What's that? Lately, you've come on here and you've been sort of sharing some, I don't know, kind of sensitive, like mental health coaching or just, advice from a caring auntie. Yeah. So I was thinking maybe I would talk about, Michael, is it cool if I talk about one of your comic books? Yeah, sure, go ahead. All right. So this is there's a comic book that I don't even have the cover for here. That's not OJIBWE. That Michael, you did like 3 comic books that all had to do with like getting over depression or whatever. Yeah. And I really liked them. But there was one in particular I was looking at. It was called Grief Relief. And I was thinking maybe we could just take 2 minutes to read a couple of pages from Grief Relief every day. Actually, before I do that, let's take a look at your cover. So, have you ever experienced grief? Kids, welcome to the strange show about really adult ideas. And I don't always prepare, so now I just gotta dig around for Michael's cartoons. All right. I think we're sniffing around in the right area. Here we go. Okay. So, okay, let me back up a little bit. If you're new to the show, BOOZHOO, welcome to the show. We're a show about Ojibwe language and culture. And the show got started because Michael Lyons is a cartoonist who was drawing comic strips about Ojibwe language. And then one thing led to another, and then somebody asked him to draw some comic books about different kind of mental health coaching or whatever. I don't know what to call it. So check out these books. There's Feelings. That's like a little cartoon. It's got Stephen A. Lyon. And he talks about your feelings. Like what are your different emotions? Are you happy, sad, scared, grief, whatever. And there's a book called Grief Relief, where Stephen and Jagog, the skunk, Stephen and Jagog, Jagog, his grandma passes away. She becomes a spirit, and she starts her journey and all that. And Jagog's really sad, and it's called Grief Relief. It's like, what can you expect when, some people say there are 5 stages of grief, but this comic book actually says, no, there can actually be 10 stages of grief. There can be 10 things. And then there's Suicidal Skunk. Suicidal Skunk. And this is about Jagog again. And Jagog just can't get with it. And he wants to commit suicide. And this is about his story. So today we're going to look at a couple of pages from Grief Relief. We're just going to read them real quick, and then maybe I'll talk about it. Grief Relief by Michael Lyons. So what do we got here? Oh, look at that. It's a UFO. And it says, Captain Stephen's log. Okay, this is that alien, Stephen. Captain Stephen's log. Stardate, March 24th, 2016. Michael wrote this comic book in 2016. My friend Jagag is sad. Oh. His grandmother has recently made her journey to the spirit world, so now he suffers. I've traveled all over this galaxy, and still the most mysterious thing to me is this thing called grief. So Stephen is thinking about grief. And is this the right one? So he's scanning the earth, and this is what he sees. This is down on the earth. There's Jagag and Mamangwa. And Mamangwa says, "Bonjour, Jagag. How are you today?" And Jagag says, "I don't know. Not great, I guess." "Why? What's wrong?" "Nothing. Everything. Who cares?" "I don't want to talk about it." Oh, he doesn't look too happy, huh? Oh, come on now. It can't be all that bad. What's the point? Nobody cares. Nothing ever works out. I'm sick of it. Nobody likes me. I'm ugly. I stink. And I just can't take it anymore. Oh, that poor little guy. I wish I was dead. Oh, he's not kidding around. Dude, don't say that, Mamangwa says. And quit talking bad about my friend Jagag. Quit talking bad about my friend. You. I love that guy. I don't. Oh, poor little Jagag. He doesn't even love himself. Just sad. Meanwhile, now we're back up at Stephen's spaceship. Captain, what is it, Mr. Fraley? If you're young, you might not know who Mr. Fraley is. I'm receiving some very disturbing information from the Earth's surface. Telepathic scans have revealed an extremely high level of suicidal thoughts. Oh, that means a high level of people thinking they're going to kill themselves. Oh no, is that the last page? Yep. Tune in tomorrow for more of... I think this is Grief Relief. Yeah, it is Grief Relief. So, BOOZHOO crew, please excuse me if I'm kind of talking to the kids now. I love it that you're here, and chime in if you want to add anything, but I'm not talking. I know you guys know this stuff. So, BOOZHOO, little people way younger than me, back in the days of the grandfathers, means way back in the old days, like when I was your age, when your grandparents were little people. Or maybe sometimes when they say back in the days of the grandfathers, they can mean back in the times of the war. And you go, which war? You go, any war. Sometimes it means back in the days of before the Europeans came in Columbus when we lived and spoke Ojibwe. But let's see. Where was I going with this? Oh, grief relief. What is grief? Tomorrow, in fact, I'll have a cartoon that explains grief. But you know how some people say, "Oh, I'm so depressed. I'm so sad." And that's true. You can be sad. You can be depressed. But grief is very specific. Grief is a sadness that comes from losing something. Somebody dies, or you lose something. Some people go through a grief when they lose a loved one, even to like they get dumped, or grief is loss. Usually it has to do with death, and sometimes, I don't know, it's weird. I could talk all day about this, but I don't necessarily want to get into it. I don't know. Grief relief. Oh, so basically, grief relief. So grief means that sadness when you lose somebody, usually to death. And it can make you feel kind of crazy. And so in this comic book, Stephen is going to learn about what that means. And then I'm going to talk you through it. Because you might be walking around with some grief. Like Charlie Brown said, "Oh, good grief." Or maybe your parents, they might not talk about it anymore, but, they might be walking around with some grief. So we're going to talk about in the next few days what this means and what you should do. And then we'll read this comic book together. Sweetie, does that seem like a thing to do? I think it's a great idea. All right, you guys, would you like to say hello to Natasha? You want to come up here? Sure. All right. I'm going to leave. I'm going to Mahjong, but before I go, I think this is a song. Sometimes when people have grief, you might notice this with a family member. They like to medicate that grief with some OJIBWE, with some fire water. This is a song about drinking. And it's called "It Ain't the Whiskey," I think. Or this might be a different song. Either way, miigwech bizandawiyeg. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again. Gigawabamin, Minowa. Yeah. Stood there in the back of the church of a broken people, listening to the walking wounded tell their stories. My turn came and I told them my name. I said, "This ain't my first time." But then a man started talking about the devil and the Bible was ruining my life. Last night on my breath, I stood up and said, "It ain't the whiskey, it ain't the cigarettes, it ain't the stuff I smoke. It's all these things I can't forget. It ain't the hard times, it ain't the all night, it ain't that easy, it ain't the whiskey that's killing me, that's killing me, that's killing me. It ain't the whiskey, it ain't the whiskey, Oh, that's really cool, sweetie. Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha on the guitar on the guitar. Oh, I mean, BOOZHOO! How you doing? It's me. Sweetie, that was a cool song. I know, I love that. It ain't the whiskey. It ain't the whiskey. Hi, everybody. How you doing? BOOZHOO, Pinukika Shame. Anin. Aji Ayan. How are you? Okay, let's see what's going on here. Living under a rock says, uneducated and misled, we were by our teachers and grandfathers. We are kids. Yeah. I mean, sadly, that is the truth. I never want to put any blame at all on my grandfathers, you know. There's a famous, not really famous, but there's a poet named Adrian Lewis from Pine Ridge. If you ever saw a movie called Skins, he wrote it. But Adrian Lewis had a quote once. He goes, "Honor our ancestors? Why? They're the ones who got us in this mess in the first place." And I was like, ooh, that's kind of harsh. But, you know, I'd almost rather take responsibility for it than just play the victim. Oh, we were just hapless victims to the evil white man. It's like, nah. There were dumb ideas on all sides. And good ideas on all sides is the other thing, too. But yeah, we were misled and not educated. You know, most of our history, most of the education, I mean, it sounds like such a hippie thing to say, but it really is indoctrination. They're like, oh, here's a bunch of nonsense propaganda that we'll feed your kids for 12 years. And then, you know, try to expect them to think for themselves later? No. Let's see. Weeseneeses says, blood meal or bone meal is a good source of nitrogen for your garden. Yeah. I just don't think we're supposed to eat our families. Weesenee says, Frankenstein was the doctor who animated the monster. Yeah, exactly. And he's a really interesting character, actually. It's weird. Of course, Hollywood just ignores that movie or that story is about a crazy doctor, not about the monster. But Brian says, Bentley said, good podcast. Oh, me quit, Bentley. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you stopped by. You know, we sometimes forget that we've got young viewers too, and I kind of want to remember more, you know. So thank you for being here. La la la. So yeah, you know, Wendigo is a really scary story. I don't even like thinking about it. You know. And that's why so many people, they don't want to believe in anything. They'll say, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. Oh, that's just an old folk story. You know? But that lake really is called Wendigo Lake. And the island really is called Star Island. You really could get separated from the rest of the people at certain times of the year if you were on the island. And you can't take a boat or walk or something. I don't know. Maybe not. But still, you know, who are these monsters, creatures? And what is the, you know, can you be possessed by evil spirits? You know, some elders talk about Wendigo being a spirit. Like you can be possessed by the Wendigo spirit. It isn't just, oh, look out, there's a monster on that island. It's, hey, you might turn into a Wendigo too. if you, if you make all the wrong choices in life, ooh, I could just eat you up. Once again, that's the subtext of the where the wild things are. Remember when the reason why Jack got sent to his room in the first place was he told his mom he'd eat her up. Do you think Jack from Where the Wild Things Are was a Wendigo? The pieces are flying together. I bet you he was. That makes total sense. Now I wish we had told the Jack, the Where the Wild Things Are story. That was my other thought today. Okay, tomorrow we're going to continue with this going down the rabbit hole, as we like to say here. Sometimes, you guys, young people, we'll talk about, how rabbits have a hole they go into? Nobody knows how deep that goes and where it connects. So sometimes, if you go down the rabbit hole, like Alice in Wonderland or whatever, you might discover another hole that leads to Wendigo, What if Jack from Where the Wild Things Are was wearing a wolf costume? Oh, because this is the other thing, sweethead, and no one's mentioned. What's that? Some people describe Wendigo as being like a werewolf. Yeah, I have heard that. That's why people think he's Bigfoot, because they think he's hairy. Yeah, but they might be thinking of werewolves. But anyway, some sort of man-eating creature, beast, monster, like Cookie Monster, is a Wendigo. But maybe Jack was being inhabited by the spirit of Wendigo, and he might have really eaten his mom if he didn't escape and go back to the land of the monsters where he was the king monster. A Wendigo. Wow. I think we just followed that rabbit hole right to Where the Wild Things Are. Where the Wild Things Are is a story of the Wendigo. And of all those other creatures, those giant beasts on that island, that was probably Star Island on Cass Lake. I bet you that was Wendigo Lake. Oh, man. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening to the story of... I'm not sure why I'm thanking you. I didn't tell it. Wendigo. Ooh, the scary monster. Wendigo. The winter cannibal monster / spirit. Don't become a Wendigo. Say no to eating people. I'm talking to you, Johnny Depp. Nobody cares that you could stay. Oh, so that was the end of that. So then all these Hollywood people come out looking just terrible, and Johnny Depp was one of them. And you go, ooh. A year ago, everyone was bragging about how young you look. And now look at you. Where's your adrenochrome? Somebody get Johnny a glass of blood. The Hollywood Vampires, they calls this band. Yeah, I bet. Ooh. And Cher, how she turned 75 yesterday. Yeah. How do you think she stays so young looking? Adrenochrome. So, today's Ojibwe word of the day. It's adrenochrome. No, it is. Oh, no, it's... I can't go until I say this. Gizakain, I love you. And all you need is a ka-idi-win. La 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 la. All you need is a ka-idi-win. La 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 la. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. I hate that song. I do too. Why am I singing the Beatles? Love is all you need. Ugh. Isn't that weird? What's that? Like everything I used to hate, I love now. And everything I used to love, I hate. Like the Beatles. You hate the Beatles? I kind of hate John Lennon. How can you hate John Lennon? You're the only one. Crazy hippie. All right. I will see you again. Gigo of a min. Minowa. Hoa. Oh, yeah. Hoa. Do 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 do. Oh, we should put up the logo. We don't want people to confuse this with Sesame Street. That's right. BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO by Michael Lyons. If you like the show, give us a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies. If you hate the show, share it with somebody you don't like. Go here, waste your time. Or hit the subscribe button. And apparently the notification button. For some reason, I never do that. I don't either. But I think sometimes some of my subscriptions I never see because I don't do that. Yeah, probably. Anyway. And you can order Grief Relief on Amazon.com or any one of these comic books. And other books by Michael Lyons. Including Oh Gibberish. Okay, hey! Timing. Some people have a way with words, and others, not have way, I guess.